Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Blood and Sand. This is one campaign we're still running. So, who wants to tell me what happened last week? Since someone was so demanding and pragmatic about it, how about you, Dartwood?
Sorry?
No one's here. You can't pretend to be him.
Butterfly? Oh, sorry, I'm
Fuck you.
What was the question?
You're doing
What
the
happened
recap!
last week?
Oh, the recap. Bye. What happened last week? We had to sit down with Guanxi. We learnt some questions. I don't want to say answers. We learnt some questions. We got dishevelled and derailed from what we thought we were originally doing. I learnt some things that other people didn't. In fact, most of the people at home got to hear stuff that even Blue didn't hear.
No,
and she's the cameraman.
I took my headset off and I've not watched the video back, even though it is on YouTube for people to watch.
And now we're going to continue with the plan because we're too far gone into the plan that we can't really back out feasibly. So we're going to continue with the plan, and then we're going to try and answer some of the questions when we get back to Duskhaven, or we're going to try and answer some of the questions.
See how you go. But at present, you are leaving the scythe and sickle warehouse
that we were in, yeah, and we're
and all
heading
the
back
granary.
to Landa.
after poor Grunt had learned the tragic fate of Hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
There's enough magic in this world. There'll be a way to hit the undo button somehow.
Souls destroyed.
Magic solves everything. Me as a
there is one
magically
spell
inept
that could
person.
solve it.
Exactly. See,
Yeah.
there you go. Where there's a
You got a
will, there's
genie
a
on hand?
Not
Give something a rub and see if anything good happens.
Genie.
seem to be fresh out of genies.
Yeah,
Luckily,
seem
no.
fresh out, I think.
You got another
Luckily-
10 levels? So...
Luckily, you got 2 more days to wait.
What's worse is
D100.
It could work.
Look at his face. He's like, I am the
I'm gonna
magic
do
man."
that!
That, could
all
you
well and
imagine?
good.
Buckley
Divine
wrote it in such the
intervention.
worst way possible. Like, right, God, give me hell. I'm sorry, fucking what? What? You washed your mouth out, boy.
Also, actually, because my god is Murden, the god of creation.
He would just make a new one. Baby hell. Oh, this
Baby
isn't
hell.
right.
Baby hell.
Oh,
Do.
No,
Fuck
no
you.
trips. No. No.
Leave.
No, I know what you're doing, Trips. I will kill you.
Shame.
No, no,
Shame.
no.
Shame.
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 No.
Shame.
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 Not in this house.
God, I have to hear that at fucking work.
But this is my house.
In the middle of
This
my
is the only
work.
place I'm still a
Ah.
DM. It's where I've got power still. You can fuck off. My house.
But yeah, Dwarf god of creation.
Gives Hell a Warforged body.
Cling clang.
I think
Well,
Grunt
then.
would be okay with that. Who knows?
Anyway,
Let's head back.
We'll head back to the abode of Landashir. Moving back to Arcade.
Oh, before we go in there, Del,
Hmm.
you had remembered what advice you'd been given, apparently.
Yes, I think I know what you're referring to.
Okay.
I did talk to you about it in character.
Hence why I called you Del, and not Blue.
Okay, why are you being so vague?
because vagueness is the greatest thing. I don't.
Because people could be listening.
Why are you doing that with your face?
I'm concerned.
What did Guanxi do to you?
I can be the guy who does this.
So,
Oh god, it's
Obviously
time
we're gonna
trips to
be-
go southern.
no, we're going to be like leading them back, I assume, to Landa. So I'm going to head back that way and sort of in a general chilled out walking pace. How is Grunt looking? Is she just? Is she not doing very well?
Currently bloodied.
Yep.
There's that
She,
4th edition.
it doesn't look
blood,
like she'll
or-
lose that eye anymore because she was healed, but
Yeah.
Just. There is a lot of blood coming out of this girl.
It's kind of like calmed down on her, like even her like deepest gashes, her own body's damn constitution's managed to heal it back. Like stop the bleeding a little.
That's why I didn't give her the knife.
Yep.
I mean, I realised afterwards it would make a difference, but
Yeah, I have a giant fucking hook.
yeah.
If she wants to hurt herself, she can.
Like, knife. Hook.
Yeah.
Zip a coat
Like-
with a fucking hook.
Right, I'm just sort of gonna quietly and in sort of solidarity head and sort of just keep pace with Grunt and just sort of not really saying anything, but just sort of being there as a presence. As maybe she might want to talk to me, or just like leave her to open up that conversation if needed.
Wonderful logic. She's been with a party that she's not spoken more than 10 words to, but you are just the guy she's looking for.
You never know.
For the first time in 6 months, the party has had somebody who isn't an asshole.
I can just picture he walks up to the side of her, and as she looks over at him occasionally, he just goes, Patchy.
No.
Oh dear.
No.
Just pick a
Stop
window, son. You're going through it. All right.
God damn it.
Welcome back, everybody.
So good to have you all here. Well, I haven't missed. So, you guys move back down into the sewers,
Hey, I love.
and with I have to struggle to fix something here. It is causing the pain.
Nicht good.
Okay. Not good, but it is kind of okay now. So, Calfrey, you lead them through the sewers. You know this way very, very well due to your years in the city. It is basically like moving through second nature for you. You do indeed see the floating cleaner as you pass.
Ugh.
About 50, 60 feet down the corridor. You just watch as a rat just ahead is just like moving, maybe 10 feet ahead of the skeleton, but just stops. You just watch as something just like a clear liquid, like it's weird to describe. It's like a wall of liquid, but simultaneously it's not. It's the only way to really say it. It just looks like it just washes over and envelops, and the rat is just stuck in place and just quickly dissolves.
It sort of looks like a tasty soluble.
By all means, if you want to kill Gruntoff, go try to eat it.
No.
All in favour of naming the cleaning party Dyson, say aye.
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 Dyson it is.
It's
It's a
my
Roomba.
city.
It's a Roomba.
It's a
I mean, if
knockoff
anything,
cheap edition
Probably the accurate
called a
Rather
Lot
than-
Hoover. Thank you.
It's a Rover.
word.
There is someone who has the control over it named Alexa. Alexa, release the Roomba.
Every time it comes up to a slight gap in the wall, it just makes that really annoying noise. So,
Oh god, it's gonna be one of those sessions, isn't it?
God damn it.
Well, I mean, he
assume
was
that
at
I'm
the
gonna,
pub, so yeah.
I'm gonna lead them away from it and towards Lander.
I'm gonna keep my eye out for any of his thieves can't stuff. I'm gonna learn this shit.
You could certainly try.
Hey, learn this.
I already know that one. It means greatly displeased, but moderately attracted. See, look
Did
at
you
that.
just
He walked
put
out a
your
step.
name on
See,
the
he
tiny
walked
chat?
out a step. That means something.
It means
He
you need
walked
to
out
hurry
of
up.
step.
It means he walked out of step.
He did a left, right, and then he did a kind of jump left, right, and then he's walking left and right again. That means something. We should do. I'm mimicking.
Mimicking
It's just
me.
a jump to the left.
Make a performance check to mimic Calfrey.
Make a performance check, you say? If only I was proficient in such a thing. Oh wait, I'm Alistair Dartford.
Can I make a deception check because I can see him doing this, and I just want to sort of make it more
You're
difficult?
gonna try and make him do the
Just do
what-
something
what's-
stupid, like just
What's it called again for Monty Python?
The Ministry of Silly Walks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
yeah.
So make a deception check to see how stupid you can make him go. We'll say that if...
Oh!
Jesus!
Okay, that's making up for last week. Alistair,
More of that,
you're convinced he
please.
has. Alistair, you're convinced he has the weirdest dance ever as a walk, and you mimic it, and it is just like the most fucking. You try to mimic it. It's stepping the foot out, stepping it back. He's keeping his pace, but you look like. You look like what would be? You look like Igor from fucking
I
Frankenstein.
look like something from Looney Tunes.
Alistair, are you okay? Are you having a stroke?
I'm learning. It's something that you should take note in.
Calfrey is hiding.
It's to enhance one's ability in the
I'm just
field.
gonna be like,
You're hiding a smirk. You're
I'm
hiding
beside
a-
this.
I believe you're having a stroke, my friend. I think that's what you're having.
I'm learning
Because you-
subtlety as a ninja.
Because the thing
It's
is,
just a
Calfrey,
jump
as
from the left.
Calfrey, as you move, you're allowing like a moment of, okay, here's what makes sense for me to move like this in this moment. Like, you're stepping past something in a particular way, like you swing your leg,
yeah.
really out of the proportion way, and he swings his leg then out of a proportion way. So he's like 5 feet back, doing it for a point that makes no sense to do it.
Just kicking pipes here and there.
I'm gonna go ahead and put down that I've got one understanding of thieves' cards. Thank you very much.
Yep,
What
you have now
understanding?
learnt the hokey pokey.
Gonna put
I
down one.
will go into your character sheet and get rid of it.
Ooh,
'cause you
additional
don't.
features and traits. I think that belongs in there.
No, it doesn't.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm waiting for you to put it in so I can take it out.
All in good time.
It'll be
Yeah, as a
tomorrow morning.
as a
whenever he gets up.
grandiose,
Alright,
like,
D&D.
as a grandiose like end to this strange walk, I'm gonna attempt to just like fake to jump over like the sewer, and then just dodge back in again and just see if he follows me.
Okay, this will be I'll say a performance check on your part to really pull off the display, and I'll say you
Okay.
can make a contested insight.
Inside.
This has been going on for 10 minutes, and anyone who's watching can go, oh. After a while, you realize what he's doing.
I'm a.
I think I realised right away what he's doing.
Making a fool of Alistair.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, Alistair, would you like to make a dex check? Because,
Saving throw?
yes, acrobatics check, because you're elegantly boing, over the side, trying to land to the other side.
Not rolling
Nice
well
shoot.
tonight.
You manage to land on like your like toe on the other side, and it's like, yeah, I'm so cool. And you look back and you realize he's not there. He's still on the other side, walking back. And it's just like laughing.
Still have a lot to learn.
I'm just gonna turn around and be like,
I'm going to shadow step
What
behind
the-
him and just go, yeah, you do.
Ninjas. Calfrey a ninja too? Can ninjas wear purple? Are they supposed to have fedoras? What does Empachi mean?
I'm pretty sure ninjas can wear orange.
Y'all motherfuckers need God.
A true southerner coming in there.
Y'all motherfuckers need Jays.
God.
Well,
just
he
turn
is
back
playing
over.
a cleric.
Y'all need your motherfucking murdering.
I just turned back to Alistair, like, Alistair, what are you doing? Come on, let's go. It's this way.
How long did the entire day take us?
All
24
this
hours.
probably about like all what you're doing here currently, about 6 hours maybe. Because this is a big city, you're walking around it your first time, learning what you can, and you're having long discussions. Like between places to go around is like maybe 30, 45 minutes from point to point kind of thing.
Mhm.
So going back and forward is where it adds up, and you had a long conversation with Guan Chi.
Yeah.
I mean, that literally took 2 hours.
Yeah, that did. Okay.
As we continue, I turn to Dell and just go, so how did I do? Were you understanding all the signals that I was giving? Were you following along, or did I lose you? I think I've learnt pretty well then. I'll let you carry on with the talking for Lana.
Stares at the camera like she's on The Office.
Oh, sorry, there's a slight mark on that wall in there. Hang on. There we go. Anyway, follow me.
A shadow steps on behind him.
Did you try to do
Are
the
you-
Naruto run away?
Are you still
I
on the
think
other
you
side of the sewer? Like,
He's still on the other side of the sewer, and Damar shouts back to the rest of the fucking group like a smart person.
I'm sure I read in some religious text somewhere that the gifts that are granted to us should not be abused.
This coming from you.
I never said I followed it. I said I read it.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
Alistair, make an acrobatics check or an athletics check to jump back over. The reason it was an acrobatics last time was because you had to try and keep your form as you jumped to mimic his posture.
Hey
You
guys, look
bounce
at that! I
back
rolled
over.
double digits.
And
And if it doesn't carry on like this, if we get to the fight against Wolf,
literally double digits.
I
Same
know,
digit
right?
twice.
Oh boy.
Right, so you make your way eventually back up this long, narrow staircase up to the trapdoor, open it up, and you're back in the offices of Landershield. You're in the current storeroom, and then there's the office to the next room up.
I'm gonna head in and be like, "Hey, Lando, we're back. You in here?" Sort of call out.
Hang on. And you hear some shuffling of things in the inside, and then the door is eventually flung open, and there is Alistair in a simple white
Alistair.
shirt.
Alistair's behind the door. What?
Lander! The
Some
other,
kind
Not
of
the only one with
sorcery!
shadow step,
the other smarky half-elf bastard. Ugh.
I light step.
He doesn't shadow step.
A
He like
light step.
He does the Italian dash.
And what he does is butt whistles.
Wow, that's an old reference.
You're really on one of those moods tonight, aren't you?
Oh my
Yeah.
When
god.
you fucking drinking, give me some.
No!
no.
No! What have you
So
drank? Not you can drink. It's different.
I love being me.
Lando's there in a lovely white gown. Does he look pretty?
White shirt, simple brown pants with a belt on. Oh yeah. Well, come on in. Long sleeves to either side. And he just sits himself back down in his chair. Seemed like he was having a glass of some sort of port.
Having some time to yourself, were you?
No reason not to. So how'd you get on? I imagine you've been busy.
Very.
Oh yeah, very busy.
All in all,
Been a
profitable day, I would say.
Yeah. been a busy day.
We've certainly done what we set out to do. All I
That
can
is-
say is it is up to other people to hold up their end of the bargain now.
Never a good thing to have to rely on others, but still, by making the deals and doing what you had to, that's probably been very good. Very good. So, what you need back from me then?
What's he wear? Is he wearing anything on his hands?
He's not wearing anything on his hands, but the actual sleeves of the white shirt are like cuffed. Is the only way to really say it. Like, it's actually like stitched in a particular way, so they kind of cuff up.
Okay. I'm guessing I can't see what I'm looking for then, in that
No,
case.
you can't currently see what you're looking for.
Fair enough.
I turn to him and I go, Lando, these people know what they're doing. I can see why you've entrusted them with this sort of job. It's
Last thing that just happened. That sounds funny. I'm sorry. 30 seconds ago, I was still walking like a prat in the sewers. These guys, they know what they're doing. Make a deception check.
DM. You're not the DM.
I just go to him. I go, these are pretty capable people. I can see why you hired them for this sort of intricate job. I think we need to focus on trying to draw out the opposition right now and get our plan of action of where and when we want to attack. And we need to scout an area outside the city where we can not be overlooked into the destruction and what we can cause there. If you get what I mean.
Somewhere where gunshots and explosions will be quiet and not noticed
Yeah.
by the city.
Yes.
Yes, that would have to be somewhere out in the woods then, which wouldn't be surprised if that's walking sociopaths will go out into on a whim. Probably spread word of a creature or something that exists out there, getting close, or have someone draw closer so that he tries to take it on. They rough each other up, you lot sweep in. Kind of quick job, maybe. I'd be able to take him out relatively.
Yeah, I think we can do that. You got anywhere in mind? You know anyone who would know the local area? I don't think I've been up in those woods. Not for any necessarily length of time, but
We've not been there personally, but Alistair's pretty good at getting the lay of the land.
Yes, if my reports say correctly, you lot should be more than capable when it comes to being outside of a city. Considering you have someone who could literally survive out in the wilds if he so chose.
Yes.
The key with living
I
outdoors
mean,
is to note
I
the.
could survive.
Sit in my corner.
Oh, sorry. Were you saying something, Alistair?
No. Just polishing my boots.
what sort of time of day would it be at the moment? Or will we have enough time to sort of get out there, or is it pretty dangerous out in those woods?
The DM saying currently you're probably about like 7 o'clock, and you're just 3 weeks from the midsummer peak, which was like late July, early August. So you're still in the summer months. You're just like on the very end of it.
I've been playing this campaign so fucking long across so many years, and we've only just caught it with our current month.
Oh no, you guys caught up with, like, it was your summer event when it was the summer of last year, and you've hopped since all the way back around.
Good God.
Only about a month has passed in game. It's been a year.
Out of character, like, or in
Well, we've
character,
also had
it's been maybe 4 months in character.
We've not experienced winter in game since the campaign started.
No,
It's
you have
basically
not.
is it basically Game of Thrones? A little bit like Winter is Coming, but
No,
in
it's just
5
taking
seasons.
forever. They're very active days.
Is there anything that I would know about the areas around this city?
Make a
It's
nature
a-
check with disadvantage, just from your
Fair.
own experiences of, like, I could guess this, but it's like, this is the general thing, compared to a place you've not really...
Oh dear.
This is not my no combat. No, just don't do it. It's not good.
I mean, the first one was good.
It's got trees.
Key to noting about any forest is noting the flat parts and where they become deceptively more hilly.
I mean, it's not wrong, but
Alistair, a little bit of blood coming out of your nose.
I'm not used to seeing this much of my own blood.
You okay? Dude, I'm pretty sure you're.
Stop
just
making DBZ and abridged references, you bastard! Keep catching me with them.
I think you'll find that was a Hellsinger Bridge one, but alright.
No, I meant to say abridges, and then I said DBZ first, then I just said
abridges?
abridges. There's 2 abridges, you have to fuck that out. I'll take that sun sword.
That was a divine intervention. That was
Yeah,
gifted to him
that
by
was it.
gods.
Yeah, and the god can take it back, bitches!
No.
Fucking watch me!
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Take your hands with it. Can't fabricate
But
new
how
ones
can I
if you can't
fabricate?
You can't fabricate without them, motherfucker. Watch your mouth.
where would I know anything? So, like, hey, as a kid, I went to this camping spot that was really great and out of the way, and a perfect place to where to kill people if I wanted to.
Oh yeah, like all camping spots.
Like all
Most camping spots are remote, are away from people, are a great place to commit a murder. Okay,
Make
this
it
is what I want to
make
do.
it
Is that from
straight-
experience trips?
Yeah,
Ravenstone, put down that frog.
the straight intelligence check, you say?
Straight intelligence check.
I think that's right.
1 + 2 + 3
I've never
+
seen
4.
that on a modifier. What the heck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I
Might
just
be
clicked the
adding
intelligence.
Trades.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool that it displays it now.
That's actually
So-
how trips counts as well.
1
rolled-
+ 2 +
God damn it, guys. Leave him alone. He's the new guy.
We've seen him at the table
He's not been lynched yet.
when he sits there with his dice going.
I do that.
Calfrey, you're aware that the forest stuff has a few clearings where there is, like, say, spaces for like moonlight or sunlight to actually come down into. It's basically, there are pockets where there's definitely spacing for, like, say, a campsite or an ambush, but it's a matter of picking and choosing yourselves when you go out there, and is it fitting with, like, can you get the creature near there? Can you get something to lure him out to that area?
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of areas, Calfrey, are called clearings, is the technical terminology, just in case you wanted to know.
You're still bleeding out of your nose. Shut up.
I go. Well, Del, I mean, we can head out and scout a few areas while it's still a little bit of sunlight, and then come back tomorrow and have a closer look.
I suppose so.
It shouldn't take that long, I'm sure.
What was the
There's a few.
Trying to look back through my own notes. What was the estimate that we were given? I'm trying to see.
Tomorrow was when it was going to happen.
Yeah, so we kind of need to scope it out beforehand to be sure. I mean, unfortunately, we don't know enough about the area. Alistair, are you confident enough that we could maybe spend the night out there?
Absolutely. I have lived in the woods for many years.
Yes, but with,
Hey, I don't mind a
with
camping.
your team. What about with this group?
Oh, we're fucked if that's the case.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is Buckley just going clang, clang, clang? What?
Not anymore. Thank you very fucking much.
You can make it work, Alistair.
Oh. Well then.
You really are in one of those moods, aren't you? Just
We're going to die.
you can
We're
make
going
it
to
work.
die from bad weather.
You can make it work.
We're going to die from bad
Alistair is
weather.
going to be sat under a big leaf with rain just trickling all over him, and most of his party will be on fire, and he's just going to be like,
Let me just have a look at something.
This is fine. Just
I'm fine.
nodding. This is fine.
Like, this is fine.
yeah, just rain just constantly pouring down my head.
You just have your cup there. You're drinking rainwater. Grant's holding a big leaf like your friendly neighborhood.
Tastes like irony.
Cheers.
Yes, I am wholeheartedly confident that I can allow us to spend the night in the woods, providing there's nothing majorly dangerous.
Lander, do you know if there's anything majorly dangerous?
Just a moment.
If he says bears, I'm hitting him.
Worse.
Bears and
badgers.
tigers and other things. Oh my god.
Lions, oh my.
Dire badgers.
Yes!
Dire badgers. Yes.
Dire badgers.
Oh no, Alistair, remember, I've beaten lions to a bloody pulp with my fist, so it's fine.
Yeah, you used to chase after lions
Was this before or after you bumped your head?
before.
Before.
You could just chase after lions and beat them to death. Because they were too low CR and too low health, you could just run after a pack, grab them, and start beating the shit out of them. Couldn't run away from him.
Because I literally had like a walking speed of like 50 at that point. And it was just like, hello.
If I ever make a top 10 video of weirdest characters, most of them will be Trips's, but Nerowin's characters will make it onto that list.
along with Nemo's characters.
Nemo's handicapped charcharacters.
I'm
He handicaps himself.
That's what I mean. What if I
Yeah.
play a character with -5 in everything?
Trips?
Because that's fun.
I go to Alistair. I go, Alistair, I think I've got something that might protect us. It might be a little bit of like a comfy home for the night if you want. I picked up a few things a while back, but I think if we find somewhere, I can make a nice little campsite.
That's a
Winks at bard spells that wizards can also cast that may have appeared in the last critical roll.
What's wrong with your eye?
Sorry, I
Are
got
you
to-
having a stroke now?
All I heard
Calfrey-
then was the
now
Cub Scout
Calfrey is
saying that he was going to
bleeding
be able
through
to
his
create a
nose.
better campsite than moi. That's adorable. Okay. You rub some sticks together. When are we heading out?
Let's go
I'm really
now.
concerned for all of you. I think everybody might be having a stroke because we're in here.
If I stop bleeding from my nose, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm not bleeding from my nose.
Okay.
It's a drink.
Okay.
I can make a
I think we
nice
can
place.
head out, and I'll try and lead them to the north of the city and into the woods. Into
Okay.
the
We're
woods.
gonna go out, scout the area that we've tried to organise it that this guy's gonna go to, and we're gonna stay there for the night. Okay, that's the plan.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool.
Fucking 5.
Has everybody got everything before we go out then? Because
I always carry everything I could ever.
has anybody else got anything they need?
I also
Yeah,
try
I've
and
got
look at
Um,
stuff that other people may need.
let me let me look through the spells here. No, I'm good.
On the way out of town, I think I'm gonna suggest that we
Okay.
go and pick up, say, some food for the evening. Just simple
Actually-
that, and
I'm honestly gonna sit back and just wait as I can
Just
see
like when
that
he tried to kiss your hand. you
Alistair's just like getting closer and closer to the point of exploding, and I'm just sort of sitting back watching it happen.
Actually, before we go out, I need to go stop by an incense shop.
am I missing?
Are you still
Am I
in the...
missing something? I'm just looking at Alistair like down, like, am I missing something here?
An incense shop.
You're
Yes.
aware that there are alchemical shops in the town, Calfrey. You can
An
probably direct them
apothecary.
to.
Oh, look, game 2. Druid Salve, that sounds nice.
It is.
And the moment of realization, that's like, what?
No, I wasn't laughing. I was just I was just laughing at the slow ascent of the middle finger. Got me.
We have liftoff.
Oh, you still left that big middle finger in the fucking desert.
Yeah.
Yeah. We realised that
Okay.
yesterday when I said what happened to all those bear traps you were carrying, and he said we turned them into a giant metal middle finger.
That's
For-
still
Turned
there.
some of them. I have a few. I didn't throw all of them, but I gave enough of them.
But yeah, out of character, I kind of need incense to perform Legend lore.
Do we need that now at this moment in time when we're preparing for combat?
If you guys want to learn about fucking Gagron and shit.
I feel like now is not the time for that.
I'm
Maybe
sure
like
it can wait.
after the big fight that we're attempting to prep for.
Well, I still
Put it on
would
the
need
back
the.
Put it on the back burner. We'll come
Alright.
back. For
Whatever.
If you really want to get some before we leave, then sure.
No, I just get back down.
Put it this way, if things go well, we'll be coming back. If things don't go well, we won't be alive to do the spell.
Fine.
Calfrey. It's more annoying when he ignores me.
He's talking to his betrothed.
I don't give a shit if he's talking to God. Hiya!
Damn, he is. Be gone. Be gone.
Hi, Debbie!
Hello, Debbie. You're
Hi,
on.
Debbie!
Hello,
Not-
Debbie.
Not a good time. I've just broken the keyboard.
Yay!
I was trying to fix it and it wasn't working. Are we outside and is it raining? Hi, sorry. I'm in between two
You've been
conversations. I
walking.
apologize. Mhm.
Calfrey, you've been in some days trying to think and plan. You do step outside the city. You manage to maybe step 2 miles out of the city into the woods, and the woods go on maybe 30 miles before you actually, like, at any point before you'll find more
Civilization, yeah.
civilization or anything else. Yes, Delmara.
I was going to ask to do something before we left.
Sure.
I want to talk to Lander in private, so I wait for everyone to leave.
Okay, everyone else leaves. You just say you need a moment with him.
Shut the door. Shut that
the
door.
So you shut the door.
I press my ear against the door.
I wait a couple of seconds, then go BANG on the door.
Oh no,
I
Bucket,
was-
you must have been
Oh
shot.
no, you should have learned that was going to happen.
I think she's been shot. Yes.
Only logical conclusion.
No, she dodged the shot, clearly.
I'd done
Alright,
it
so
before.
Del, you're there by yourself.
Okay.
Down to D and Whispers?
Possibly, actually, yeah. Sure.
Spook's complaining as we left.
So, in the room,
Just you and him.
walk up to him and just go, "You've been a real big help for this. We certainly wouldn't have been able to do this without you." And
That's part of the job.
quite grateful, actually, and I extend a hand.
Left or right?
God damn it.
Your
Already-
right to his right is how it will work.
Gotta scroll, give me 5 minutes while I scroll back through several pages of notes.
To see what hand the fucking...
You know which one I want, she'd remember, it's whether I've written it down.
I'm pretty sure it was his right.
I think it was.
I'm almost 100% certain it's his right.
Yeah, I've written right, so we'll say right.
And he reaches up and shakes your hand. That's no bother at all. It's been a pleasure.
And I will try to do it somewhat subtly with the fingers, is to try and twitch the sleeve slightly.
Sleight of hand.
Let's see if I can. Yeah. Turn on whispers.
Versus his passive perception of 13. Not very wise. A moment passes of him talking to you where you straight up just have your fingers under it and just lift it.
Mm-hmm. And is the mark still there? Double checking.
The mark is smudged. Like it's run dink.
Okay.
More like it's actually from the quill and ink pot on his desk than it is anything else.
I just straight up pull his hand and draw the sleeve, go, "What the fuck's this?"
Would you mind letting go of my hand?
If you're gonna tell me what it is.
It's the mark of the raven.
Really? Is that what you think? I'll let his hand go.
I don't know what you're instigating at all, Delmara.
How long have you been working with the Raven?
I've been working in the Raven for one of his oldest members. Make an insight check.
Yeah, I'm making an insight check. Ah, not very wise either.
Well, thankfully he rolled like dog shit. He's lying. He's getting nervous.
Liar.
He realizes he's been spotted. Look, at this point you just hear a slow clap. Omnipresent. Thank you. You're no longer needed. And you see Lander sitting there. Hi, Jonathan, get up and get out. And you just see a finger snap out of shadow, and the form of Lander in the chair changes to a young human.
Well then.
Thank you, Jonathan. You aided in the test that I needed, and you drank most of my port. Now get out of my room. As from the shadows steps out, definitely a finely crafted crossbow on his back, definitely a very fine rapier to his side, and in heavy black armor, Lander. the exact same indication. The only difference is this lander has a massive scar. It's gone from down his eye and has actually crossed, like as if to say it's gone from here, crossed over, across the bridge of the nose, and then back into the eye and down.
Jesus.
So his right eye is basically useless. Well, you passed my side of the test anyway. Rule 1. Don't believe the first person you meet in town. And you did that. Well done.
Yeah, I could have told you anybody that from the start. I doubt anybody who knows me would know that I would just walk up to someone and start trusting them immediately.
Oh, I know from what I've been told that will be the case. But the fact that you were able to find out and you actually went to sources to check on this matter, that's what mattered. You were... It says gullible on the ceiling.
Very funny.
No,
Does it say gullible on the ceiling?
it does say gullible on the ceiling. It actually does, in a very small, fine Elvish print on the ceiling, say gullible.
Really?
Rule number 1, no matter what anyone says,
Check your
this
facts
was me.
yourself.
This was me as the DM saying that to you. That the gullible was actually on the ceiling. Rule number 1, no matter what anyone says, you check for truth yourself, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good, and that's appreciated. I know I'm not working with a fool, and I know I'm not working with a liar, someone who prefers having truth on all sides. As he sits himself down.
Been lied to enough, that's for sure.
Oh, you've been lied to damn well too much. I understand the dealings that happened between you and him. He wasn't exactly my favorite Talon as well. No one's favorite.
Yeah, certainly sounds like it.
He was just very good at his job and was in a position where he couldn't be contested because he was too important and on an important mission. But he's foundered all that now. Got too big for the britches.
So what happens now?
Well, you passed my side of this, but you still have to do your other side, which is the actual contract in the city. Either work with and bring to your side, or dispose of the rulers of the houses. It seems like you're already on your way to dispatch one of them.
That's our intent for tonight.
Good. I'm surprised the fool didn't actually give you the proper dealings with Ramsay. He's a big man, he's a big, hairy man, and a lot of people think that because he bites people, he's a lycanthrope. There's an entirely different breed of creature that also has a tendency to bite and have sharp fangs.
Yeah, I felt like it was almost too coincidental. I've started to doubt what all the signs were telling us. I was like...
Always doubt. Always.
It's a little too... It's too much
Obvious.
of a story. It's like, oh, isn't that a happy story? A lycanthrope in charge of the House of Beasts. It's a bit
Not quite.
convenient.
Now, if I'm correct, you are going to be taking on the other 7 sons and all that promiscuous bunch of the Burtons when you get back.
Yes,
some
we've
form or
managed
another.
to get some backing from the others, the people we went to speak to hopefully
Excellent.
cause a bit of disruption.
Well, there was no lie when Jonathan spoke to you on my behalf. I did indeed have issue with Hammock in the past. And he goes over the eye. He and I have a bit of a long rivalry that I wouldn't mind having ended, even if it's not my hand that deals it.
Oh
I'm aware
boy.
of the importance of capables.
I hope it's not something you're familiar with, as she places a hand on the sword she has that she took from him.
Believe me, nothing will bring me more joy to know if you take off his head but that. By the way, put the head in acid when you're done.
Yeah, we learned that from last time.
Acid will eat through even the troll blood that he's managed to get worked into his system. How that whole process worked is beyond me still for a scientific matter, but
Well,
I think
I'm
he's
not-
the only one that really has that.
if you know where to keep a bucket of acid handy, please be sure to let me know.
I almost have a big cleaner that walks through the sewers and eats anything that comes into its path.
That's fair.
Toss that skull in there, and if anything, he'll slowly be digested and slowly regenerate over the course of his entire life.
Well, isn't
So
that
until he dies
pleasant?
of either starvation or brain exhaustion, he'll be there. And I wouldn't mind that one bit.
Lovely.
Now then, you people waiting for you, I don't want to keep you too long.
Hmm.
Tamara, it's been a pleasure.
Do you want to keep this arrangement that you've sorted out for yourself?
Or with Jonathan? No, that was just for you.
Thanks.
And you passed. And I'm impressed.
Thank you. I was telling the truth, though. You have been very helpful.
We do try. The shield is only a name. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Motions to the door.
I'll see you in a couple of days.
Move you back down.
Can try and divine intervention and back, and then change.
As
our
you guys are
whole-
waiting in the room, the door opens as you're talking, and a young, sweat down the brow, nervous human steps out and walks away and runs down the stairs. And after maybe 5 or so minutes, Delmar does open the door and walk out, and you can see Lander behind the table smiling out to you all.
I mean, I was
I'm not
expecting
even
several
gonna
things when
ask.
the door opened, but that wasn't one of them.
So who is that guy?
Who was the boy?
I look over at Lander.
It was amateur
So-
hour. The professionals are in now.
Whatever, let's go.
Should I-
Belfry,
should I-
it's something
should I-
that you didn't really think of properly, but the whole time you were talking with Lander the whole time, he didn't have a scar on his right eye. But now that he sat there, he does have his scar on his right eye.
Oh, you mean previously when I was talking to these guys for the first time?
Prior to that, he had a scar on his eye. You don't know if, for magic or something, he had it, because he's got some alteration magic,
Yeah.
but didn't know to what extent. But this one has the scar and everything, and looks like a maybe 200 or odd old elf or half elf. Very, very crow claw kind of to the side of the eyes, wrinkled and grayed.
200 years old.
Yeah, I just
He's
turned the
as
sort of
shit.
just nod the hat to.
Don't
to
look up
Lander,
it. Don't
and
look up
just
the lifespan of a
see you
half
later.
elf.
I know the hot life of a half spell.
A half spelf.
Half spell.
I know my half spelfs.
It's a
I'm
snake.
a ranger.
I
It's
know
a
the
snake
spans
elf.
of the life of a half spell.
Good God. It shouldn't be a house, this should be a Booper care home.
Yeah, it's almost like through some magical means or other, he's still alive and healthy and well.
Calvary,
And-
is Lander by any chance like an adopted father or something?
What, of me or
Yeah.
I don't think so. I just work with him sometimes. What are you trying to get at?
It's alright, it's just that, Calfrey resembles a word in Elvish that is similar to catheter bag, but never mind.
I found that offensive, sir.
Beg your pardon.
I'm looking him dead in the eyes. I found that offensive, sir.
I was only joking.
Good.
I have my
You have a
fair
job
share
to
of bad manners.
do, and a
Fine.
fake lycanthrope to kill.
Yeah, I was about to say we head
Don't
out
you
to
be
a
giving
different
orders
place.
when you be illusioning yourself up? I see through your tricks now.
Alistair, we have a fake lycanthrope to kill. Can we please move?
Oh, yes. We're moving. I can't.
Yeah, we're
oh,
moving.
Sorry,
I was
sorry,
about
yeah,
to say, we're
sorry, yeah,
moving.
we're
I've left.
We're definitely moving. Sorry, where I'm going. Is this believable enough for you? So I put the proclaimers on so we can, definitely say that we're moving.
Yep.
You move along.
Calfrey, play the proclaimer.
That's so sad. Calfrey play the beginners.
From southern to Scottish.
So,
Yeah, I'll make our way to where we need to go and then head out into the woods.
I question Delmar every minute of the journey.
Really? What about?
Don't you be hiding shit. I revealed my secrets that I was having, and that was for the greater good of the party. You tell me what's going on.
Okay, well, if you couldn't tell from the fact that we used the word fake, this guy isn't actually a werewolf.
Not that!
That's pretty obvious. We know about the werewolf.
Do you have any advice for dealing with a vampire then?
Yes.
You
Not going to share it because you ain't sharing shit. But I've got some.
make sure it's dead before you are.
I mean, yes.
He's
Leave the
not
technical
wrong.
thinking to the experts, please, Calfrey. I have experience with vampires.
You do.
When?
Make a deception check.
I read it in a book.
You
it-
read?
Is it with disadvantage
You
because
can
the
read?
entire party's going, huh?
Who wants to make a
Is that high enough that it's like, okay, somebody...
No, I had to have one.
It's my turn.
better now than your initiative?
Yeah.
I just turned to him. I go, "Really? Tell us all about it."
Well, it was a 7-part book.
Sorry.
If you
Dusty
don't wanna
down
know-
here, huh?
If you don't
A
want to
little
know...
bit, little bit.
You don't want to know, Buckley, if you've got your own mentality, I hope you just don't get amnesia all of a sudden and forget who God is. But I'll educate the rest of the party who are interested, thank you very much.
Delmara, your armor kind of darkens a little bit and your shadow is thickened. The only way to really say it is as if to say where light would be in the shadow would say stretch and maybe like fade in color a bit. Yours is still that same thick, almost ink black.
Okay, that's new.
And then in part 5 of Revenge of the Killer Bikini
Yeah,
Vampire Girls,
jeez. They have bikinis. Why would they wear bikinis? That's not very armor safe.
it's part of a vampire thing. They're very sexual creatures. It's part of the way they lure more victims, and that's why they're constantly expanding.
Out of character, that sounds more like a drow thing.
I mean, you don't
Mustn't give
reckon
into their wily ways.
you don't reckon the dog's gonna be wearing a bikini? Because I can't take that.
No, obviously he's a man.
Like 8
He would
foot
be wearing
tall,
a mankini.
muscular hairy man in a bra and bikini.
Mankini, male
I'd feel,
equivalent.
I'd feel a
It's
little
He's
equality.
wearing a banana hammock.
I'd feel a little bit
Well,
disgusted if I
my
had
name
to
is
put that
Razi.
dog down.
This is my city of Rothaven. Is nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
These are my slave traders.
And the way
These
you
are my
kill them
slave
with
traders.
a wooden
They're
stake
nice.
has to be wood. It's a sexual thing. It's like an innuendo thing. It goes way back in their language, like way to the pre-dawns of time.
Dawn of time of
I think you're
empire,
making
not
this
wood.
up. But I believe you. You seem to
I think you're telling
No.
bullshit, but I smell right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna.
Okay, yeah.
So, important question. Do we trust Lander? Don't give me that smile. Give me that smile.
I think I trust him more now than I did previously. You remember the issue I talked to you about earlier?
Yes.
It's been cleared up.
Okay.
He
I'm
was
gonna turn him on.
much like everybody else that I've been speaking to today. He was testing me.
Seems
The
to be
only
a
thing
lot
he's
of
testing
that
at the moment
going
is
on.
my patience.
Saw that line coming.
I'll be right
Fuck
back.
you, Blue.
Don't-
You're
Something
gonna.
like
You're, okay, you head out. Nerwin moves off for a moment, and while he does, we will continue our little conversation and move up. You're okay, bud. You rock on.
Ooh.
You funky little American.
Little.
I bet he's
I don't
got
actually know how
to.
big he is.
Compared to most Americans, he's probably little.
But he's got to sort out his dog. Anyway, we got to sort out another dog. We need to get going.
Well,
Nice transition there.
as I just said,
Straight out of Windows Movie Maker, that one was.
as I just said, not actually a dog.
No, he's a vampire, apparently. Okay.
So he's a vampire masquerading as a dog that we have to kill, but not kill with fake bullets
Well, the
or silver. That's not going to do anything because he's a vampire.
vampires still aren't very keen on the whole silver thing. It's like
I know they're immortal. They live forever.
Oh shit, that might be a problem. Won't he like?
Guys, you're all presuming you know about vampires. Like the fact that it's a vampire.
Immortality seems like a pretty obvious one.
Yeah, the immortality thing's a thing. The blood sucking's a thing. The vulnerabilities. There's rumors and myths. You can guess.
Sunlight? Who can
You
say?
kill them with mirrors,
Apparently
'cause
he's
they
fine
can't
with
see
going
themselves.
out in the day. That's a bit weird. Don't know.
I
But
think
I
it's
mean-
going to be like some Blade Daywalker crossover breed of vampire
I mean, we've
werewolf.
got a cleric with us, so that's
Yeah.
might be
I wasn't as
helpful.
keen on Blade's books. They were a bit too unbelievable.
This is probably going to be a good time for Buckley to try out that fancy sword he's got.
Sun sword. The thing that's
Nobody,
used in
nobody
Curse of
suggests to him
Strahd.
that he does legend lore. He won't let us hear the end of it.
So, hey
You know about
guys,
vampires?
remember the time I did Legend Lore? Oh, it was really good.
Hey man,
Fuck
let him
y'all.
do it. He found out about an entire fucking subplot that wasn't even meant to be fleshed out yet.
No, we can't because he didn't get the incense and we've already gone.
Oh, he already did it once. Don't let him do it. You can let him do it again if you want, but eventually he'll go back to fucking Dusthaven and get it there.
So we're
We'll
going
say at this point you are
work
moved
around.
out of the city and into the forest. Alistair, would you like to lead the party trying to find the opportune phase? Because this
Yes,
would be a
but
survival check.
Can I assist him with my local knowledge?
First, I would like to quote things from Natural Explorer just to see what I don't have to roll for. Difficult terrain doesn't slow our movement. Can't become lost except by magical means. I can be engaged in several activities while still remaining alert to danger. I can move stealthily on my own. When I forage, I find twice as much food, and when tracking creatures, I know their exact number, size, and how long ago they passed through the area. And from being an outlander, I can naturally find food for myself and up to 5 other people.
So technically 10 other people.
Yes!
You could all
That's
eat
math.
well.
Yes!
Well, actually,
Count
twice
who's
as much
bringing
as you and
finds
5
food.
other people would be 12.
I'm concerned.
So make a survival check like I asked.
Fuck! God fucking
With
shit.
advantage because you got the local helping you. Right, so you got a balloon around there.
Kind of don't want to
It's-
take the advantage now just because it's him giving it. I know how to survive. I've been doing this shit since I was 14.
You can take this. You can take a normal roll if you want. I mean, that's up to the DM.
I'd have still got a 20. You. I am Alistair Dartwood, hunter extraordinaire.
Oh, Spook, you're
I will not be impugned.
I love him. I love him posturing like this. It's so good.
Your inadequacy is showing. I should know. I often do it with Alistair.
I
No.
don't.
That's the least inadequate part of your body.
I got a 24.
Okay.
Not
So-
31 though, is it?
Oh, I'm gonna take a step back.
Let's use expertise in order to get to that unnecessary roll that didn't help the story in any way, shape, or form.
It was hilarious though, wasn't it?
Trips never leave, babe. Never leave.
No, no, you'll die first.
Head up, heads up. If you want to kill it, it's got to
Did you
go
hear that?
alarming.
That's the wind of change.
What's it saying?
They'll never find your bodies.
Try to make me
Just
laugh
let you
all
know, if
day.
you ever get aggressive against him, he's got the a gun of alarm. He'll know when you have an intent to hurt him if you're within 30 feet.
It's
Which you don't know the
ringing-
range of.
It's ringing like like Jeff Dunham. You better get out of here, dude! Don't open the door!
You're literally giving me a light head. I'm laughing too hard, guys. So, Trips, go on. What do you want to say?
No, I was just gonna ask, like, do we find the perfect clearing?
Well, not perfect. It's not a natural 20. But you find a pretty good. The face of. Trips, hold it in, babe. I believe in you.
You're gonna be chopped.
It's not a natural
I'm
state.
getting a light head. Much getting a light head, guys. Give me a minute here to collect mind thoughts. So, you move out into the woods. After maybe 3 hours of travel, you find yourselves about 3-4 miles in, and amongst the vegetation, the dense clearings, you do find small streams of a river that all estuaries that all link together and move down into the larger river that opens out into the sea. From where you are, Alistair, you're able to detect that there has been animal activity through this area recently. One such creature you could tell had you are looking around and you can see oh, this is a small watered hole, maybe about 5 feet by 5 feet. Then you look and go, wait a minute, that's not a hole, that's a footprint. And there's two
Alright,
of them.
guys. Strong presence of bullshit in this area.
I didn't realize there was cows in the forest.
Nah. Someday I'm gonna make it a monster where even if you lick its fucking footprint, like I know you fucking do, Dartwood, you're gonna make a con save or get paralyzed or some shit.
You can tell a
Just
lot
something
about an animal by the taste of its feet.
You can tell it's got dirty feet.
The dirty footed animal is
Calfrey
one that
is
covers a lot of
disgusted.
Which
You wouldn't
yeah.
understand this, posh boy. This is roughing it.
What
When
are
have
the
I ever
monsters you
been
as a
posh?
hunter? What are the monsters that you as a hunter would be able to identify, Dartwood? Like when I say that, I mean typage.
Monstrosities.
Monstrosities are my favorite enemy.
Okay, I will need. Is it an intelligence check, or is it a nature check, or what is your checks for when you find prints of a monster? Because this is a monstrosity.
There
If
isn't.
If it's a
really-
Is it
favoured,
investigation?
is it just
You
that you
gain
know if it's
advantage?
one of your favoured? You just
hang on a
automatically
sec.
know if it's.
Don't you gain
It's favourite, isn't it?
advantage on checks to track it?
I'm
like
not
investigation
thinking
checks.
currently,
is
guys. That's why I'm saying it as a Dartwood. What's the rules of your fucking
Additionally, you
nature
have
shit?
advantage on wisdom survival checks to track favored enemies, as well as intelligence checks to recall information about them. So it
Okay,
depends
you
on what I'm
do,
doing.
if you did an intelligence check to recall, history check to recall the information about them, you could determine what kind of creature this might be based on the footprints, the size, the weight of the pressure into it, and all that. Or you can determine where it's going, what it was doing, or so on here. So it's up to you.
You see, I would like to know what we're fighting, but my history is not good.
Nash, good.
So I think I'm going to just try and find
Mish
out
good.
where danger
Mish
is
good.
rather than what danger is.
Okay. The shit he's good at. You could tell this moved
Fucking
further up into where maybe there's. You can see maybe 100 feet into the woods itself. There's a large lake, and in that area there seems to. That's where that's where the footprints actually lead to. You can tell there's a lot of footprints, as if this is somewhere where one particular creature has traveled often.
So it's a single creature.
Mm-hmm. You can tell there's one creature here, and from the blood smatter and everything, you can tell that something or someone has been hunted here recently. By blood spatters and by small bits of gore left, you can definitely tell that something was torn into and eaten.
I feel like I want to try and find out what this thing is.
I just say to Calfrey up in there, not
I'm
Calfrey.
sorry?
I can't say to myself. I say to myself, I wonder what Alice is thinking about right now.
And I speculated, life's more about the journey.
If you're telling a story, you have to say you're telling a story and have to have a meaning to the end of it. Otherwise, what's the point? You're just talking to the wind.
Going through your mind, my boy.
I'm going to ask Alistair, hey Alistair, you think this clearing will work? Do you think we're safe here? Or
I'll move
this is
you
the
onto the
perfect hunting
clearing
ground?
actually while you're here. Boop. This clearing will work because it's the one I have.
We're definitely not safe here. It's a poorly drawn map. We are not longed for this world.
Listen here, you slut bucket. These are random gen maps that I get. I put my
Buckley's
money
on his
into this
own.
campaign.
Damn it, I'm going to use these maps.
Alistair, I'll just do a quick drawing here for the sake of it. Actually, I'll do a few bits here. You can tell from, like, say, footprints and blood splatter that something's moved up into this direction, up towards the northeast side of the forest.
Can I
That's towards the lake.
I don't know how to put myself onto the map. I'm sorry.
Click and drag.
Click and drag
click and drag
what?
your picture from the
Click
character.
your picture face and drag it out.
Also, or you can click on your character and drag it from the characters, and literally drag it on, and it'll put your token.
That's what we.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can I try and glean information on what this could be based on what it's eaten, the size of the footprint?
This will then be your investigation check, or history. Sorry, excuse me, history, to see if you can, like, tell from footprint and that what this may be.
Okay, it doesn't specifically say it's history, it just says on intelligence checks to recall them.
I'll say this will be a.
It's up to you.
I'll
I'm
say
just
it's an
saying.
investigation then, and you can use your investigation as an intelligence for the advantage. Because
Okay.
you're investigating what this might be.
It's not as good. This is a double digit.
It's an oddity in that it's a creature that you can definitely tell, like, it's not natural is the way to say, because the footprints of it they're very small, like clawed to the front of the actual, like, say, like 4-digit kind of thing, and there's 2 feet. You can always tell it is 2 footprints that are used, and the weight of it pressed down maybe goes down like 2 or 3 feet into the soil and mud. It's got to be a big creature, and you can tell it's probably eaten some sort of herbivore, maybe a deer or something, and it's actually caught. The gore does lead up towards the lake side, but besides from that, you can't quite tell what this might be.
Jesus Christ, I don't know what the hell we're going to be finding, but 2 or 3 feet deep footprints?
It's definitely a large or a very, very big creature. When I say a large, in regards to size, just for the weight of what it's in.
Christ. 2 or
Bear in
3
mind, this mud as well, it's not exactly soft. Or sorry, it's not very hard, it's soft mud. You yourselves do have to find yourselves at moments where, like, if you're too close to the riversides, you do kind of sink in a bit because it is very soft, and there's more or less raining now. But it's more like that shitty misty rain of it's not really sinking into my clothes and it's just being annoying. At the same time, this is covering your tracks while you're out here.
This is why I wear weatherproof clothing.
North Face, medieval edition.
Okay, so, Damara,
Hmm.
remind me on the plan again.
Well, we've spoken to our various people, and they're meant to be leaving a trail for Ramsay to follow, to bring him out here under the pretense that there's some sort of creature out here that he'll be interested in catching. And the idea is we're going to ambush him and deal with him. Not
Are
quite
we
sure
killing
how
the creature in question?
there wasn't originally a creature, but it looks like there is now.
Yeah, there's something nasty out here. As you can tell by this footprint that I'm now going to stand in and mostly disappear.
I'm going
He's
to
waist
suggest,
deep in it.
I'm going to suggest something right now. How about we lure the creature to this area, and then let them 2 fight, and then when he's weakened, attack him, and then finish off the creature?
See, I liked that idea originally, but a lot of sources have been saying that this guy's got a weird way of controlling creatures, and I don't want to end up having this monster then being something we've got to deal with as well. Because he is probably going to be hard enough to deal with. I don't even know how we're supposed to actually deal with him with the knowledge that he's a vampire, aside from using these silver items that we've been given, and possibly Buckley pulling something amazing out of his arse.
Where the sun
Did
doth
not need the
shine.
sound effects therein.
He's just keistered so many things to pull out in
Holy
random
relic
times of
number
leaves.
1.
Hey, look, we're
Holy relics.
shitposting again.
Yeah.
This is like Crash Bandicoot pulling out the fucking relic out of his ear.
Got any holy water in there?
Got
So
any
my
grapes?
thought is, we follow these tracks to where the creature is, and we slay it, so that it's not going to come back and fight us. We can leave the original tracks here, prep the area with various kind of pitfall traps, bear traps, net traps, maybe even a log trap if you can put something like that together, Buckley. And then while he's mid-following the trail, we jump in on him after him and whatever associates he's with have already been ambushed by our traps, as it were.
What time is it at the moment?
It's currently
Evening,
closer.
good.
Yeah, you guys like left at maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's currently 10 or 11.
Well,
We've lost the light, basically. That's sunset.
You guys are in darkness currently.
I don't want to be fighting this thing at night out in the wilderness.
I'm going to just take a quick second to stand on top of one of the trees and just have a listen to see what the wildlife situation is around us. Are we being watched by this very thing that we're trying not to
Okay,
be seen
make a
by?
perception check then.
Not rolling well tonight.
Okay, well, you don't hear any wildlife, but that's what sets you off, like it puts a trigger into the back of your head. You don't hear any wildlife nearby, which is always just this constant back chitter, like white noise to you. But you're aware there's no like birds chirping, you can't hear any fauna. It's as if this nearby area, and you like look around and like you listen around the, like, bear in mind you were like 120, 130 feet away from the actual lake itself. Around this area, it's no creatures seem to be. You get the
That's never
sense
good.
that you may be currently standing in its hunting grounds.
Okay. As a ranger, would I know of any particular type of herbs that give off scents or particular areas of the wooded lands that these kind of creatures would tend to avoid? That I could
Creatures
try and
like
lead them
this
to?
that you're trying to think of?
Yeah. Something that's unnatural,
I'll
where it's like
say-
unnatural things
say-
would go for.
Give me another history check, but with advantage because of your own experiences with kind of foresty and swampy areas. There aren't many creatures that could dominate a forest in this way, naturally. Hello, Mrs. Johnson!
I was Johnson.
Hello!
This is
No.
There aren't many creatures that could dominate a forest in this manner.
Gee, if I could.
And you're trying to think of what might be able to, and the only times you've seen anything similar to this in your own experiences is things where you've avoided the actual creature in question. Things like large monsters, like you've not seen or heard of many, but one of which you have encountered before, when by the grace of some charismatic arcanic forging, one of your friends managed to turn into a hydra.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that happened.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it physically possible.
It's like the gods got bored and said, you know what, sure.
There you go. I'll throw you a bone.
Throw you a hydra.
I'm gonna turn to Dell and be like,
But that's only
Well,
what you
it's-
think of might be one of the creatures. You are aware of like forests and swamps that have other such large monstrosities, but there aren't many that are bipedal. Hydra are, and as you look down, you can tell that there is like a bulk between the actual feet, like a slight impression that's kind of been washed away, but it is like, say, the bulk of something else, like a body between the legs that is against the ground almost.
Hydras bipedal?
Yeah.
No,
I didn't think they were.
they're quadrupedal.
Some Hydra are, other Hydra have no arms, heads, feet, tail.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sounds like
This
you're
is
a creature of chaos, can take multiple forms.
Yeah.
But there are other big monsters that this might be as well.
So it's Hydra-esque. It is of a
It's a
draconic
it's the only
lineage
thing you can
originally.
think, no, not draconic lineage, more like for scale. Something as big as a Hydra would put these kind of weight impressions in, could dominate this large of an area, has this kind of mass.
Okay, well, either way, we don't want to be hanging around here at night because our human friends are not going to be able to see very
Yeah, half
quickly.
of you guys can see fuck all. Buckley and
So-
Calfrey, you can see nothing.
Lando
excuse
mentioned
me, I have a
something.
sword of fire.
Right.
Please don't like that.
It'll be like the flare in Jurassic Park.
You ever been attacked by a moth the size of a building? Put that shit away.
Yeah, it was just like, no, it's all good, guys.
They don't even attack you, they just see light and think, oh, it's light, I'm gonna go and hug that. Beat the hell out of you with their asses. Ah, a bit of light! Ah, I love light!
Oh, there's this thing in the way of the light.
So
Delmar,
I'm
you're
gonna lead
trying
the
to say
party.
something?
When we were planning stuff with Lander, didn't he mention a creature in the forest? Originally, we were planning, and because we thought,
he entered.
because we mentioned before when we were talking with him about using a possible already existing creature as bait, and he said there was
Oh, was that the Froghemoth?
a Froghemoth, yeah.
Froghemoth.
When she says aloud, Froghemoth, you go, oh, something with big fucking feet, a big underside, like a
Bipedal.
weight underneath its stomach that could drag if it was low to the ground at points. Definitely could dominate a large area. Definitely would live in a river or lake.
The Froghemoth. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing he mentioned.
Thank you, Blue.
I'm glad I started taking notes properly.
That's a good girl.
I'm
Well-
gonna be there like, I'll set up camp. You guys keep thinking what this creature is.
Are we
and
sure
I'm
we
just
should be
gonna
setting
turn
up
around.
camp in a place where a Froghemoth is? It doesn't sound very pleasant. And Lander said that he'd had guys.
Neither does trekking back through the forest at this time of night. I think we should set up camp. I've got something on my sleeve here. I'm going to turn around and let them sort of talk for a little bit and go over to one side, and I'm going to cast Leomund's tiny hut.
Yep.
Oh,
Begin setting up the small area. You actually take out the gun and just spin it.
Yeah.
Spin it around, and it's almost like this small bit of silver flakings just dash off of it around in a circle, and you do form Lemon's tiny hut. And once you finish casting the circle around him, he disappears to all of you. Just bloop. Looks like there's nothing there currently.
Okay.
Please tell me he didn't just do what I think he just did.
I'm not entirely sure what he just did.
Did he just use magic to disappear?
I mean,
I'm
very
just going to wait for
possibly.
them. I'm going to listen to this
Yep,
conversation.
just keep listening.
I'm
Go on.
Kind of
still
what it
gonna wait for
looks
them.
like.
It was a very large area around, maybe like 10 feet radius kind of thing. He was spinning this, they were going around for the filings to be in.
Is there anything there where he was drawing
No.
a circle?
Currently, there's nothing there except for, like, it just looks like the place without any interference from him.
I walk over.
You walk over into the area.
Yeah.
Calfrey, have you allowed your friends to enter?
I'm going to play silly and just keep Alistair out for just the time being. Just as a
Okay,
bit of fun.
Buckley, you keep walking and walking and walking, and boom. You enter a small, comfy little space. It's dry. The rain is just dashing off of the top of it, but to the outside, it looks like it falls straight through. And there's Calfrey, just sat there comfortably, smirking at you.
Can they hear me? They can.
Outside
if I
can't
talk.
hear you.
No, alright, okay.
Well, this is interesting.
Yeah. 1 second, and I just poke my head up through the, I keep going, and I'm going and just poke my head through, and be like,
Slowly, his
boom.
face just appears near you guys.
Come on in.
What manner of sorcery is this?
I poke my head out. It's fucking great in here, guys. It's warm.
It's just your faces as well. So
I mean,
Hey guys.
kudos on the location that you've decided to pick for your little house.
It's fine. I'm gonna use my magic and turn it to like a dim light in there, so it doesn't attract too much attention on the
there
outside.
is no light in there.
Oh, no.
When I
You
say
can't-
no light, I mean nothing from outside sees any light inside.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, no, because literally,
Literally, something you have denied access into it has to walk into it to know where it is, or see people coming in and out of it.
and if you, Calfrey, were to leave it, it basically ends the spell. But anybody else can leave in and out.
Yeah, I'm gonna like, come on in. It's
However,
warm in here.
spells
Let's go.
cannot exit or leave it. That's going to be my ruling on it to stop it from being like, we're just going to sit in here and shoot anything that comes near.
Yeah,
like a
of
little
course, that makes
bunker.
sense.
I mean, that's actually technically the.
Fucking dare.
Dalmara, this man is annoying me.
Shimmer steps in.
Are you?
You
gonna
can see that
come
there's a
in?
great amount of restraint happening at the moment. Like, she desperately wants to say something, but she's just like, nah, I'm not gonna allow, resisting
Grunt, what do
the
you
urge.
do?
Grunt is just moping.
Aw.
Grunt mopes into the hut.
Yep.
Okay. Just grunt.
She doesn't care. She's not in the mood.
In there, I'm going to open up like just a coin, like a copper or something that I keep, and I'm going to cast light on it and just pop it into the middle, so it's a nice little freaky disco dome. I was like,
Well, I mean, you can.
I'm gonna wait until Alistair attempts to come in, and I'm just gonna be like, I don't want to see him bounce off it, and then go, come on, stop being silly, and then let him in.
Alistair, you dung off of it like you've just walked into a wall, and then Calfrey's head pokes out. Well, come on, just step back in, and this time you check with your hand, and your hand can pass through. He's so mad.
Ooh, I have so many things I need to say right now.
You should probably say them before you come inside, then. And I cautiously go in.
You
Of
step
all the
in.
places that
try.
you decided to set up your little magic trick house, I literally said like 5 minutes ago, we're in the middle of a hunting ground of a creature that leaves 3 feet footsteps.
I can't get in here. There's only people that I allow in here.
It's still in the
It
middle of a
lasts
hunting ground. What are we going to
8
do for
hours.
food? There's sod all around for probably a good mile radius.
Guess-
It scared everything
What?
out.
Guess what?
Rations?
Guess what?
Trap
I brought rations, and then I'm like, tink. I thought of everything. Come on, Alistair. And I'm going to open up and have a little picnic. Hey, I tell you what you can do.
A
I tell you
10-foot
what you
radius
can-
of a mobile dome of force springs into existence above you and remains stationary for the duration of 8 hours. 9 are creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome with you, so 10 creatures total. Spell fails if the area includes creatures larger than medium or more than 9, including yourself. Creatures and objects within the dome, and when you cast a spell, can move through freely. All other creatures and objects are barred, lest you grant them permission. Spells and other objects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside the space is comfortable, dry, regardless of the weather outside. The spell ends when you command the interior. You can demand
Until the
it to
spell
become
ends.
dimly lit or dark. The dome is opaque and the outside of any color you choose, but transparent from the inside. So you can make your coloring in here what you like, and it will still be transparent for the outside.
Mhm.
Unless something really clever
No,
looks
it's
and
other
realize-
way around.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It's opaque. It's got the color on the outside,
Ah,
Oh, yeah,
but
so
it's
you-
transparent
we can-
for us, so we can see out,
through
but
it.
then we can.
They
Yeah.
can't see it.
So
Well, they're just
everything we just
green
did
dome.
was pointless because we can actually see the thing he's made.
Ah. But
Out
you
of
can
the
make
glare.
it into a
That's the special
slightly
type.
dark grey color or dark
Yeah, yeah.
green color.
Hey,
And quite
Alistair,
cool.
maybe you can use some of your roguish stuff to disguise it.
You're patronising me, aren't you?
Yes, how could you tell?
No.
No, Alice,
No.
it's nice and warm, and it's nice and dry in here, but we do need a fire for some warmth. You want to start a fire, maybe? I look to Shimmer like,
Shimmer just snaps his fingers at a bit of like gets us some tiddling and some rock.
I miss Nosda.
Who?
I step inside and sit down.
It is dry and comfortable, and you hate every second of it.
Oh, goody! I love being here, exposed to the elements.
You're not exposed to the elements. I mean, look at it. It's dry. It's nice. It's dry.
Stop
We're
talking.
camping.
Maybe an hour or two of this going on, you hear something approach, and you see a large elk
Are we not gonna?
from right to left. It literally bounces off, boom, 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 rolls, looks confused, gets up, and begins running a different direction.
Sorry. Oh no! What happened? Trips is.
I had an
laughing.
elk run into the hut, bounce off of it, and ran away.
Dong!
Few antler shards are left on the ground.
Oh, the poor thing.
I'll pick those up.
Leave it. A hand extends out and grabs him. Like,
Ooh, I can fabricate these.
Oh, this does make
Into
a
a
nice
shiv.
handle.
arrowhead.
I'm gonna like open up a bedroll and be like, "Good night,
The
guys.
fucking bedroll.
I'll take whatever watch you want."
I blow up my
There
air
are-
mattress.
Unless you want to, you fabricate an air mattress.
There's a fair point though. What you should fabricate is probably some decent wooden stakes for us to use. Because of the whole
It's a good
vampire
idea.
I
thing.
grab some wood and I make a bunch of steaks
You fabricate steaks.
for the point of killing a vampire.
Could be cooking some fucking that was devoid of life within a 3-mile radius, but you know, that's me
I mean,
talking.
There was an elk right then.
There was an elk that just came past. I don't know if you saw it. It
Oh, I named it.
It collided with the dome. You know, the
I
dome in
named
the
it
middle.
Last Chance.
You know, the dome in the middle of the forest that's keeping us dry.
That's also not being covered by your roguish abilities.
You know, that dome that we're all sleeping in.
What do you guys know about Froghemoths?
That
About
they're
what?
big.
What?
What do you know about Froghemoths?
I'm gonna say it right now, none of you actually know anything about Froghemoths, but Calfrey, you are a resident of nearby areas. You can make a history check in regards to a Froghemoth. Straight roll.
Okay.
Ah,
You are aware
great,
of
guys.
a
We're doing
legend of
great.
one?
I've heard some rough tellings
Well,
of a
if only I
frog.
could do a legend lore.
On the Froghemoth.
Froghemoth's not a legendary
I
creature.
know it's not.
It might be a legend of
You're
this
aware
area.
that there is a creature nearby here.
You've cut out us.
You're aware there's a creature nearby here that does not leave survivors. That's all you really know of it.
There's a few people that go missing up in these parts that we just keep out of the woods usually, but
Oh.
that's just
Not
the
out of the
general
woods
term.
now.
So,
Um,
do you guys want to do anything? Do you watch?
See what else I can use.
I'm gonna seethe for a bit.
Okay, that's a free action.
I'm gonna
It's a free
pray
action seed.
and go ahead and change my skills.
Spells. Yeah. You can do that at the start of the next day.
I'm just saying that's what I'm gonna do whenever I
Yeah,
get up.
When you get up next, you do that. That's okay. So, who's taking watches? You got an 8-hour
I-
period in this.
We'll take first.
I always do first and last with the sleep in the middle.
I'll stay up for a little bit as well, and then I just want to sort of like sit back and enjoy it and clean my guns out as I
Oh,
watch
so you're
these.
aware if
Need more
anything
than
comes-
2 people on the first watch, Calfrey. Get some sleep. Great. It's nice and
Grant-
dry in here.
Oh yeah, I was just cleaning my guns before I go to bed, and then I get down for some sleep, and then I'll probably
Just gonna
take
say
my
this really
second or
quickly. If
third
anything
one.
comes within 20 feet radius of
30.
the actual, no, 20 feet of the hut, because it's already
Oh.
10.
Oh,
Anything
yeah,
within
yeah,
20 feet
sorry.
of the thing will set you off.
So I go to sleep normally, like whatever.
Yeah, you're
But
like
that's-
whatever.
He's already set me off.
Grunt, what were you trying to say?
Grant isn't sleeping.
Make wisdom checks for the sake of will to try and stay awake, because you're mentally fatigued after today.
Dad, damn it, roll 20 died.
God damn it.
That's a sign.
Go to bed.
I feel like even if she does get to sleep, it's not going to be a proper restful sleep.
It's not going to be restful, but for the sake of not getting exhaustion.
I feel like she would after that. But,
It's going to be one of those where it's like,
Nemo.
yeah, I'm awake, but I don't care. Rather than actually like, I am useless currently, or I am weakened currently.
It's loading. Or you can roll it for me, whichever works.
No, I'll let you roll, babe.
I get a nice, comfy night's sleep in a nice, dry, dimly lit hut. Like,
It's like a little nightlight basically you have on in the
Yeah.
middle with your coin.
Wisdom check or saving throw?
Wisdom check. See if you can physically will yourself to stay awake the whole night. Nope. After the first watch, Grunt's still sitting, but has fallen asleep into herself.
I imagine she just sort of sat there asleep in
I'll
tears.
take last watch, because then that'll be whenever I do my praying and whatnot for spell changes.
Okay. I was just shitting on Damar's plans, but okay.
We always have, we always
there
have
was the
two.
bit I was looking
We always
for.
have 2 people on watch.
Oh, you're also doing it. Sorry.
Yeah, we've learnt from the past. We have more than one person on watch at a time.
I will take first, and first alone.
Okay, you take your first watch. Delmar, are you also taking first watch?
Yes.
Caffrey, did you decide to stay up? Or you just
No, I
like,
was-
you're gonna be like, good night, I'm going to take some sleep.
yeah, I'm gonna take some sleep. I was just cleaning my guns before bed and just like get them all right, and then go to sleep.
You nod off. It is the Elfbloods left awake. I'm about to say alive, not quite awake.
Shit, shit just got real.
Everyone who fell asleep has died.
It's like bloody green dragon again. I thought we'd killed them.
Kill that one, yeah. There's more.
There's always.
Do you both want to give me perception checks for the watch?
Sure.
Yep. What the fuck?
That's not a perception check.
Well, it rolled a natural 20.
Glad I wasted
No, that was a melee attack. Never mind. That was a 19. So I tell you what, just 19 and add your proficiency. What would have been? It would have been 7. It would have been 26 anyway. Would have been 26 anyway.
Huh.
Okay. 26. 26. Okay. Fucking hell.
Did you say we had to stop by 8:30?
No, we
10:30.
got another hour.
Never mind.
Just under an hour.
Also
Alistair.
Yeah, most likely that's gonna happen.
We'll see.
Alistair, while you're up, Delmar, you're trying to keep an eye out too, but Alistair is in that grumpy mood of just intense focus. And Alistair, you don't, you just hear the squelching of weight being put on soil and causing water to rise into it. And you look around and you can just see very slowly moving is this very large form. It's more like you thought originally in the dark that it was like the hill was actually washing with like washing down with the intense rain outside, but it wasn't that. And you see something very close to the ground. You see these 2 very small slits of nostrils, and you see these 3 eyes just like hanging up and over. You see one very, very large froghemoth around the area, sniffing around.
I moved to Delmar and put my finger on her lips.
Delmara, he has his finger on your lips as he's looking away from you at something else. You turn, and in a moment you go, "Oh,
What have I told you about personal space? I'm joking.
If that thing gets a bite of us, we're going to be very lackluster for personal space.
I think it's at this point that we should draw the radius of the hut. How big is it?
it is
I'm
a
just
10-foot
holding.
circle." Give me a second.
What happened to Grunt's token? I had it here.
10 foot.
Just waiting for a
Quit with your Durans, you fuck.
I'm trying to help. You gotta do it like diagonally because he draws the circle in a diagonal square. There you go.
Give me a sec, then I'll redraw. That'll do.
There we go.
Yeah, that's about right.
Just waiting, see if it's going to cross this stream here. I think.
That's when your alarm will go off.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like sonar for him.
Boom. Boom.
Boom.
Okay, well, I can see the creature and sort of look at it and look at Alistair and shrug slightly as if to be just like, oh, what do we do?
It's looking around as if it smelt something, but it can't find something.
It's looking around, El, as if it smelt something, but it can't find it.
The very small estuary as well, you guys can now see it, like it just puts its foot in, and you just watch this entire mass actually just almost like a rubbery form, just stretches and sinks into the small estuary, as if it's dove into it. Literally fit into that.
If I was to make a guess, Omara, I'd say that it discovered that there was something that came through here that it could eat, and is now looking for it. And unfortunately, the thing that came through here didn't travel very far. Are you getting what I'm hinting at?
Yes. But it can't see us, and it hopefully can't hear us.
Fingers crossed.
It's gone into
But
it's gone into
when
the
we get up, we need to go from here. And as far as I'm aware,
Alistair and Delmara, because you're awake, make stealth checks.
Technically, I'm not moving, which means I get to do this at advantage.
Yes. You both get it at advantage due to your current situation.
Whew.
Okay.
Oh, I
Alistair,
didn't
you're
even roll
talking-
max, but it's fine, it's 29. Didn't even roll max.
Okay, I'll let you guys know that this has been crazy for rolls, and I will explain afterwards. But Alistair and Delmar, you're talking currently, you're looking, and Alistair, your eyes are keeping sharp to anything, and you just see the three eyes rise up in the river down below here, and look straight in your direction.
I
I
immediately
didn't
stopped
see
talking.
where you pinged.
Yeah, well.
Oh, hang on, do I have this? Yeah, I have Showtale.
Ah,
This
okay.
here. You just watch as that large bulbous form just pulls itself out of the water. These
Oh.
massive tentacles and pull itself up.
I grab a hold of Dell's arm very firmly.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm
I'm awake.
Gonna pull
You
out a
wake
knife.
up immediately.
I open my eyes and then I go, just like, lift my heart. And I just,
I'm
I
gonna.
look up and I can just see those. Do I see those two in the,
You
in the
see
tower?
those two very quietly, straight up like the scene from Jurassic Park Lost World where
Yeah.
like there's two people awake in the tent and the T-Rex poked his damn nose in.
I'm gonna try something. Oh, is it walking past? I'm gonna watch it first.
It's walking by. Seems
Do I
like it
spot it from where I am?
seems like you can smell like the small bit of blood that was left by the stag as well. And it's like it could hear something nearby.
I look at Alistair. I point to him, point to me, and I point to basically a point in the forest, sort of outside, with a questioning look, sort of like, "Do you want to go outside? Should we stay?" But not speaking.
I'm gonna signal to her to not do anything.
I'm going to, like, as I'm lying there, I'm going to bring up a copper wire and I'm going to cast message and I'm going to message
Is there a
Alistair.
verbal component to the message?
I don't know.
I will check for you.
You speak a series of words.
You point. There is a verbal, semantic, and material
Please
component.
reconsider what you're doing, considering the information you can see. The
Oh,
fact
yeah,
that we
no,
are
I probably
both
won't do
sitting
that.
here, basically with our mouths covered.
Hang on, because I'm confused about the description of the hut before. Can't see the hut.
Can't see the hut.
it can basically like seem this like gray thing, and you could tell like after a while of looking, you can see the hut. It's like this gray form, or like this like dark
It's
green
opaque.
form.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
opaque.
Oh, it's
Okay.
opaque.
Right.
But it doesn't
can't
know what
see
it
it.
is, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's like, the fuck is this? Like after
I-
a while, like, looking around, it was like looking for things that seem or otherwise are real. Like looking for the stag blood. Now it's like it's looking at this thing curiously, and it's leaning close to it.
I step outside of the hut.
I grab him.
I notch an arrow.
Which side? Okay, you're doing it from that side. You make another stealth check because he's still got his other perception up from last time. You better roll high. Better roll
Advantage
high.
or not?
No advantage. It is
I
looking for
literally
you.
asked you if you wanted to go outside.
I'm not attempting to shoot it. I'm attempting to shoot in a different direction. But I can't shoot from inside the hut. And it's either I let this thing sniff us out and then start fighting us, or I make this. Either way, we're going into combat in a sec.
You don't know that.
When you need it most!
You know why you needed that so much? Because his perception roll was a 28. Non-natural 20.
If you hadn't critted, you would have failed.
You would have failed. He rolled a 19 plus 9.
I am Alistair Dartwood, hunter extraordinaire.
Okay, you
And
were
Calfrey will learn from this mistake if I have to jam my rod down his fucking throat.
And your crit stealth is the same as my 17 stealth.
Dartwood. You step outside. You take out the arrow slowly. You're holding your breath from when you were inside. Draw out the arrow. Where are you aiming?
I am aiming to shoot over in a that way direction.
Okay.
Preferably into some piece of wood that I might be able to glean from the distance. Something that I feel it will make a
arcing
noise.
shot over it, but over the hut itself. But yes, you can try. Make an attack roll. It's going to be a straight roll.
Straight attack roll.
It's grand, lads. He only rolled a 5.
What were we saying
just-
earlier?
I refer you to my previous maths equation.
Now here's the thing. There is a sound when the actual bowstring triggers, but because you rolled a nat 20, you try your best to do what you don't aim for distance, you don't aim for power. You aim to just make something go that way. So you fire it, and before the actual string can hit back into and cause the kind of sound, you fire it so it just releases the arrow, and before it can make that sound, you've grabbed the actual string of the thing. It's caught your hand a bit, and you have that moment of
That stings.
and you step back inside the hut, and you just hear ding, and just one eye has gone over in that direction, while two are still looking at this thing. And then the middle eye goes in that direction, and it reams itself up. It's probably a good hang on, I'm getting messaged. It's probably a good 30, probably a good 22 feet tall. It just like stretches up its whole height, looking over there with one eye still on you guys, but two eyes over in the other direction. And it's looking for a moment. It's gonna make another perception check. Thankfully, it rolled a lot lower that time. It begins stepping over this way. And you guys can hang on now. My sister's gonna come down with the dog apparently. She's bringing Bruno down now. She meant to bring him down yesterday, or tomorrow. Excuse me. It begins stepping over in that way. And by the way, guys, when it steps, actually, it's going to try and still be sneaky. No, it actually steps on a piece of wood, and you guys just hear a very, like a young fallen tree just. And anyone who wasn't
Twitch.
awake, anyone who wasn't awake already is now awake. And you see this massive, like the back of this long, thick, hided green creature just over towards wherever this twig or thing was out of curiosity in this direction. He's looking down towards and sniffing. It's gonna make another perception check because it can smell Alistair off of it. It literally can smell you off of your arrow. This thing's got a fucking perception check out the whole and begins looking back around, seeing that this thing has no real interest or uniqueness to it. Begins looking towards this hut, and you're all awake currently. Just curious, it just lifts up its tentacle and just and it just over it. Can't break through, doesn't break through, but you guys get the opinion of what it's like to see like a slug from underneath a glass pane. Just and you can see all these suction cups and everything just like squeezing, trying to test this thing.
Oh, I really want to try something, but I might.
It opens its massive mouth and just goes and it maybe like it can get a quarter or so of this thing, like the actual hut size, into its mouth. Couldn't reach over the whole thing, but a good bit of it, and you can just see this massive, like, like there is a massive tongue, but there's this small thin part to it, almost like a whip that's connected on, almost like an anglerfish's antenna, just slapping about the actual thing. I have to keep an eye on it in case my sister shows up at the door.
Can I make a suggestion of Deadeye sharpshooter in it, or is that a silly? No, I was
If you
joking.
pull that gun out, I am gonna kick you twixt the legs so hard.
He just slams his like face against it. Bleh. To just be slapping itself in the face. Bleh. It's basically the thing of when someone puts out a camera in the middle of the night and a fucking animal spots it. It's like, the fuck is this? Very confused, very curious, just bleh. Bleh. Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Thaumaturgy.
Shh.
Wait. And create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point which is 30 feet away from me. So, like, just behind it. And make the sound of an elk running.
I have to check thaumaturgy.
Yeah, it might be a verbal component.
It is
It
a verbal
has a verbal
component.
component, so make a stealth check to quietly perform the spell. It's gonna make another perception. Oh, fuck again.
Oh god, this is really tense.
No. Unless you rolled a natural 20.
Oh,
Wasn't gonna work. It rolled another 19 plus 9. It can just hear the small whispers of tss, 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 tss. And for a moment it's looking like all eyes are like looking up and around this thing curiously. Then it hears meow behind it, and you just see two eyes dart, and both like one arm, this massive tentacle, just like reaches across to where the sound was around its body, and just wraps around the log there. Just crushes the log and like bleh, bleh. Just already has it near next to its mouth and goes bleh, 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 and just throws it annoyed. It's not smart enough to figure out what the fuck this is or how to get through it, but it's like, something's in this. It can tell there's a cookie in this jar. It doesn't know how to open the jar. So you just watch as it goes back into the water. Literally sinking into that very thin river space, that estuary space, and just and disappears.
has it moved away from?
I can't put his hand in my mouth.
No, has it moved away from
No.
the?
Bing,
No.
bing, 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 bing. You have AVP currently, Alien vs. Predator. You got the sonar, and you're getting that ping right motherfucking there. It's still in this river. It's here. Its body is stretched all this way here. What are you guys doing?
Hang on a
I
second.
don't think we want to do anything.
It can wait.
So
It doesn't know what this is, but
So
it
can
presumes
we.
something. It can presume something is going to come out of this. So will you guys just let this Texas
Standoff. No,
standoff wait?
I'm going to try and pull out a piece of parchment and maybe like try and draw something and draw a sign like "What do?" LOL.
What do?
What to? Hang on a sec. I still have to keep an ear on.
Parchment, who does?
I have an idea.
Pass the pen and parchment to us.
Not something I'm going to
whiteboard.
write down.
Please don't just do stuff without discussing it.
Well, I can't discuss it.
That's what the pen and paper's for.
I was really hoping
There's
the
not much-
thaumaturgy would have helped.
I thought that would have worked. That was a really good idea.
Thank
I
you.
hate you all so much.
Fuck you.
There's not much Grant can do to help in this situation, to be honest.
Yeah. Not that I can do either.
Okay, I'm going to try something because this is the reason why we have stuff. This is the reason why stuff is given to us to save our bacon. I'm going to drink my potion of invisibility.
You drink a potion, and you guys watch as he boops and disappears.
I'm going to delete that. I am then going to try and sneak out to here.
Okay, make a perception or make a stealth check with advantage against its perception check with disadvantage. You keep stepping out. You guys can just barely see like rain dash against his body, like Hollow Man style. You can just see the outline of him, and it doesn't seem like the creature's reacting to him. Whether or not it's seen him, you don't know, but it's definitely not reacting to him. You know because you can just follow him as you watch him go. But a while, it just gets harder and harder to spot him.
Knowing what this creature is, would I know that it has quite a considerable reach?
You saw its tentacles reach around its entire enormous body and reach. Okay, give you an idea. When it was here, like when its arms were like battering here, it could swing it around and grab this log.
Okay.
You know
I'm
it's
gonna-
got a huge bond. Like bear in mind, like give you an idea. The circle was here. It's like it could just reach the side of that and grab it. It's like it's very long reach on its arms,
I'm
and it's got
gonna
an enormous mouth and bite.
step to there then, and I'm going to very obviously jump onto the log. So I
There
make
isn't
noise.
a log there anymore.
Oh,
Broken.
okay.
That
well,
was the log it grabbed
oh.
in one arm, threw up to its mouth and bit, realizing there was nothing left, crushed it and slammed it.
Well, either way, I'm sure this will work either way. I'm going to jump over the river and bolt.
You're gonna book it loudly.
Yes. Slapping
Intentionally.
footprints and everything.
You just begin hearing, and as you do, like you guys can hear this as well. You just watch the creature immediately, like those eyes pop out, thump, over. Alistair, just to make sure it's. You just want to make it another stealth check. It can still hear you, but stealth check to make sure it can't like locate you. Like you're making a noise, like follow me, but it doesn't know
Okay.
where to. Very much so. Think of the way how in The Hobbit, Bilbo was able to distract the spiders while being invisible. They can't
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
where he is, but they know there's a sound. Thankfully, we're still applying the rules of doesn't know where you are, so it's at disadvantage, because otherwise...
Mm. Woo! That's not a nice thing to see.
But thankfully, you're seeing that. Because it was at disadvantage trying to spot someone who was invisible. But you do see the form slump out of the water immediately and begin dashing over towards where Alistair is running around. So it moves, it literally just leaps to here. That Alistair will just move you to here. And just like goes here, just slams down to where you were. And the arms are just like outstretched, reached around. So this is going to be an attack made with the disadvantage, and I'm going to give you 5 to your AC. Because it's... You move, but it literally throws itself like a leap you didn't expect the speed of, and just throws its arms out. It's like a 15-foot cone in front of it. It's if you're there, it's going to try and grab you.
I'm ready in my gun at this. After I see it move, I've ready my gun.
There's just a grabbing of there, just like, what is he doing?
That was a 14 to hit, so definitely not going to hit you. You managed to duck underneath the tentacles, and it's thrown on both tentacles, so it should be 2 attacks. And the other one was a 13 with disadvantage, so thankfully, because it was 26 and 29 otherwise. And you managed to duck underneath them. Both swipes. Do you move?
I'm going to continue running as far as I can while it's chasing me, and when I get probably a good, say, 100 feet, maybe slightly more from the hut, I'm going to cast Silence off to the side, and mid-run I'm going to dive into the silence.
Bear in mind, the moment you drink Potion of Invisibility, once you cast something, there's a bit
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's not
a-
great,
yeah.
so-
It's not greater.
I'm not used to using invisibility. Aside of that, I'm going to run a distance until I reach more water, and then I'm going to like skid down the bank and then roll to the side to try and get it to follow in a line and not
Basically,
go
you're going to
towards me.
presume like you duck down. It doesn't know you duck down, kind of thing, and it keeps
Yeah.
following around. Okay,
It
make
goes over the
make
top.
make a final stealth check with advantage for this encounter, then, and it'll make a perception with disadvantage.
Oh, that was not good.
Okay,
Oh,
it was with
no.
disadvantage, but it's still very perceptive. So
It's not good.
I'll be honest with you. So I got that one.
God.
Oh wow.
It's
Jesus.
been rolling so well. It's one hungry fucker. And you just duck down and you pause, you walk, like, you just begin regulating your breath, and you can just feel the weight as the mud around you just kind of sinks down, and you just see it looming over. It doesn't. It knows you're here somewhere. It doesn't see you. You just see this big globule of drool fall down in front of you.
Knowing that I would not be able to outrun this thing from this distance, I'm just going to try and stay as still as I possibly can.
Okay. Stealth check again with advantage. How long does invisibility last? An hour?
The spell, yeah.
It's the potion, so
It
it's
is.
gonna
So. Make another stealth check with advantage.
Are you kidding me?
Jesus Christ.
Another 4?
You get
So
that
if you-
one.
Just miss it.
With
Oh, jeez.
advantage. 1. He begins looking, but then you just watch as it like dives in front of you, and you have a moment where your heart literally stops. You have held your breath for nearly a minute when you were already short of breath, and it just dives into the water, and you just watch as his form literally spreads out to take the whole water space, and the water kicks up and splashes against you, and it just
Interestingly
Throw it up
enough,
the river.
I read about suffocating and the rules upon it. You can last for a minute, plus 1 for every con modifier. So
good for
I looked
now.
this up for a specific reason.
But it is disappeared into the water, but you can tell its form is moving up the
I'm
waterway.
going to wait here for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes if I have to. I'm just going to make myself at home in this mud.
Okay,
I know
guys,
animals do not decide to just, like, go for something.
Alistair has currently disappeared. Maybe 15 minutes gone by.
Where's he gone?
But-
I'm just like whispering to.
I just point at the paper that you pulled out. Just like,
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't realise. I just like,
wait,
where are you, lol?
wait. I've never ever had to use this. With her hands, thieves can't.
I
No,
do
I'm
talk
pretty
to
sure
a
that's
thief
monk.
scan,
I'm pretty sure that's monk stuff.
and I'm gonna sign
the
back
pair of
to
us
her.
are now going to be there signing.
Signing to each other, and you begin signing your language. Okay, so we'll say for the sake of this that your whole escapade lasts, Alistair, and you get back to them. You like in 15 minutes.
An
you can
hour
go back
later.
there. 15 minutes later,
Yeah.
otherwise your potion would have dropped, and you move your way back in. And you guys can hear, like Delmar, definitely you can hear the footfalls of someone coming close, but you don't see anyone.
Well, I saw
Who
him.
is that?
I saw him drink the potion, so I'm just like, I hear someone coming. Probably Alistair. Stay quiet.
Alistair
Well,
steps back
very
in.
My gun, like,
I step into the tent. Seething is going to be the word of the
Is
day.
the steam rising off you now?
Slightly, actually, yes.
at least for the next hour.
And
I'm
to
gonna
give you
cast
guys an
Pass
idea,
Without
you can see the mud caked on him, on the form. Very much so as well, Hollow Man, because it's mud on something that's not really there. It's translucent, so you can see it like caked onto him. But very quickly, I just have to check.
Oh boy.
GG, well played.
I'm just keeping tabs out.
Definitely.
So you guys hang tough and you wait for maybe 6 or so hours quietly in that hut. More or less unrestful, I'm going to have to say. Like, you guys cannot go back to sleep. You have Fallout syndrome.
Okay.
Cannot sleep while a creature is nearby.
Yep. It's basically going to take the piece of paper and just be like, nobody speak.
Maybe closer to 4
Out of
a.m.
character, I use thaumaturgy. Are you okay, Allison?
Maybe about 4 a.m. you just hear. And you hear 2 more. And then one very loud. As you see this enormous hulking. Well, actually, I need perception checks, actually. I need perception checks off you motherfuckers. Delmara, Alistair, Buckley, I'm gonna say, because you guys have high perception and keeping an alert. Damn it. Okay, I need to put him onto whispers.
Rolled above a 20.
You're rolling
Okay, my
for
eyes
20,
see.
but he has a 28. Buckley, you see a you were convinced big things can't move quietly. Then you saw this thing. Now you're seeing this guy, maybe 8 foot tall, 4 foot wide, broad shoulders and muscle. And you can just see these enormous wolves, maybe like 10 foot, like easily 10 foot wide, like downward, like lengthwise, and maybe like 4 foot wide shoulder to a wolf, like maybe off the ground 6 feet, like an enormous hulking figure, and 2 smaller quote unquote dogs that look more like Tibetan. This looks like a dire Tibetan Mastiff, and these are 2 Tibetan Mastiffs next to it, kind of. But these are large, hulking wolves. Oh, hang on, that's my sister. Speaking of dogs, here.
Oop.
Oh god, that's a bit rude.
I keep meaning to test something and I never get a chance. Now I'm definitely not going to get a chance. God damn it. I want to test an ability to see if it can do something.
No, I can't.
I don't know because I've not had a chance to test it.
I'm
Because
gonna
every
hit the toilet
time,
while he's doing that.
every time I'm
going
like,
to-
oh, I want to test this, it's like, oh, something's happening now, and I'm like, great, great.
That was a very good perception roll. Well done. Yeah.
We're a pretty perceptive bunch. A lot of us.
I mean, I have a passive of 22.
I have a passive of 25.
Shut up.
A lot of us suspect to have good perception, and it has saved our lives multiple times.
I'm just very, very wise.
I just have very good ears. My wisdom is only a +2.
It's just also like I have a +12 on my sun sword because of fucking gloves.
Jesus Christ, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Great, so... Archer's got 5 silver arrows. Gunslinger's got 5 silver bullets, or was it 10?
6
silver bullets. They should probably be saved to a little later in the fight rather than used right away. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't realize he actually rolled for Ramsey.
Yeah.
It's actually in the chat.
Oh, I didn't actually see that either.
I see you. And I have holy water. I think I'll start the fight off like that. Just, hey Ramsey! Burn in hell, you fucker!
Basically, to stop being vague, since I've got this shadow sneak thing from
Yeah.
the Raven, I basically want to see if I can do what I saw Crumble do, which is that I saw him take someone with him. Which is, in the standard shadow sneak, it doesn't say you can do that, so I don't know if that's a thing that's specific to him. Because technically, in theory, we both have this ability from the same source, which is the Raven.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to try and see if I can grab someone and take them with me, but every time I try to do that, something happens.
I'm thinking if we're going to open up, I should get in like a first shot with a silver bullet and see how much it does.
Well, that's the thing. My thought was, if I could find out if this worked, I was going to grab you and shadow sneak you to like the other side, other side, so that you've got like a vantage point, so that we can both like get quick shots off.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it works because I've not had time to test it.
Also, make sure everyone you have a spike or a stake.
I'm really sad as well because I was going under the pretense that we could have a sleep before we have this fight.
Yeah,
And I've used a level 3 spell.
Well, I think it's gonna be one of those things we're gonna have to clarify because
No, he did say we didn't have a restful sleep. That's what he said.
yeah, we didn't have a restful sleep.
yeah, but you
which
don't
means we
have
get
you don't
in.
have to sleep to have a long rest. They're not the same.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I'm a prime example. Don't need to sleep. I still got to take a long rest, but I don't need to sleep.
If only there was a ranger in the party that could have given you camp without burning a 3rd level spell slot.
That's third level
If
spell
only
slot.
people
Can most of
freaking
us sleep?
talked when they decided they wanted to do something.
I did. I says, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna make camp.
And you made camp in literally the place where he just said it's a hunting ground. You know,
didn't say that.
a ground of hunting.
He definitely
for
said that
something
aloud.
big.
That we all heard.
Yeah, but after I'd created it, so I think
Don't
we learn everything.
Pretty sure he said it as you were going, oh, I'll make camp in the hunting ground.
Pretty boy with his fucking high collar friends just walked out into the middle of the forest and set up a little bear cub meeting and nearly got himself eaten by some amphibian monstrosity.
If you had to charge your John Rambo
Echo.
like, invisibility,
That
Yes, I
actually
am
something
being here.
to see.
I think if we'd have just waited it out, it would have got bored and it would have left.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah, something like a froghemoth that when it eats it gorges on several tons of food at a time. Yeah, it hasn't got the time to sit around and wait for a meal to come out of nowhere. Nah,
Not
it had
at
got
all.
bored after about 5 minutes and gone elsewhere.
Especially when it was sitting in the water, looking at the spot, just.
Boy,
But at least you're alive, Alistair.
there will be words. There will be strong words.
Many of them beginning with F.
Friends, family.
Functional plans. I mean, you know,
Faulty links.
but saving fuckery of magics.
Banishment. Because, you know, if I didn't use my fabricate to do, you know, banishment, then I could have just tried banishing it and then we run, but
So, Hun, you've got 5 silver arrows, remember?
I have them noted down.
Silver tipped arrows.
Who
And
would
we're also
benefit?
right
Who would
in-
benefit most from
Yeah.
a bardic inspiration at the start of this fight?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Also,
That's basically a question of who has the lowest modifier, is what that is asking. Because we're basically all gonna try and jump in. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think we should jump him right
So
now.
who
we
is?
ain't going to do anything tonight. It's 10:30.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
but so
Yeah,
the
we got
question
it.
the question is, out of everybody who's going to attack, who has the lowest modifier? Who's most likely to miss?
So one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. Why do I get the feeling that saving your inspiration for a saving throw is going to be much better than saving it for an attack roll?
Yeah, but you've got to at least
Yeah.
give it to somebody. So
I can't use it on myself because I'm not a high enough level.
Let's think about this. It's a vampire.
charms.
Charms. Who's got
So
a bad
that's-
charisma?
Yeah, I got a 5, so I'm good.
I have a +4.
I have a +2, but I have Fey ancestry, so I have advantage on the save, as do you.
For charisma
I have
saving
+2
throw.
with charisma.
So maybe.
You have a what, sorry, Naima?
+2.
+2.
Well,
My lowest
inspiration lasts for
intelligence
10
is
minutes.
13.
Shimmer's obviously got a high charisma.
Yeah. So I guess maybe Grunt.
Yeah, Grunt. We don't want Grunt getting charmed. We had that before.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That was
never
not
Yeah,
again.
fun.
that's not fun.
Never again.
Let's not try and rely on the slim chance that we have of outstrengthening her, because I don't feel like the dice
Two
will
of
be
the
in my
party
favour.
members have got very large scars because of that. So yeah, I think maybe Inspire Grunt. Well, Inspire Grunt first. You can have more than one active, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've only got 3, is what it is,
Okay.
I think.
16 charisma.
Actually, no. I've got 19 charisma.
Nice.
So you'll have 4 uses of bardic
I've got
inspiration.
4. Oh, okay.
But remember, you do want to hold on to some of them for cutting words. Because
I
if
think-
you've given out all
Look at
4,
that.
you can't then use cutting words.
Without it being too meta, the question of is it still raining might be important. Because vampires.
True. And there is running water around here, but obviously we don't know about.
We don't know about that, that's why I said it might be a bit meta.
We're also in a dome that we shouldn't hear this running rain, really. It should be tinkling off the top of it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going through, but it should be tinkling off the top of it.
He can see this dome, so
Yes!
that is a problem.
We are in a tent.
Essentially. Which is why I really wish I'd had time to test my ability.
So I really wish we hadn't camped here.
He was going to set up an ambush anyway, and the time that we've lost making traps and setting up the area was because we were just badgered by a monstrosity.
We haven't set up traps yet.
Exactly, because we had the monstrosity and it came knocking around.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're in a less ideal situation because the fight is going to take place literally in the hunting grounds of the creature. It's going to hear it and it's probably going to come and join us.
It's going to be a fun fight though, isn't it?
No.
It's going to be memorable. We'll find out whether that's good or bad.
I hope you get eaten by a froghemoth.
By a
Is
group.
this because I'm a better survivalist than you? Is that what's happening right now?
No, I want your pretty boy to get completely covered in shit, so I can laugh heartily.
I don't get where you think this pretty boy's come from, Spook. I'm like a half rogue from a city. Yeah, okay. I don't lime mud like I'm from Predator, like with a knife. Like, if it can bleed, we can kill it.
I'm right here!
Pretty
Kill me!
boy with
Do
his
it!
fedora. Fancy diplomat clothes of I can blend in any
Also, that's a
social
cowboy
strata.
hat. Not a fedora.
That makes it better.
That's a howdy, ma'am. Not a mapashi.
Oh,
Get your goddamn hands
froggy.
right.
I'm a frog.
That's a yeehaw partner.
Correction, I hope you both get eaten by a froghemoth.
I'm a frog.
When I carve you out of the froghemoth's body after you inevitably get eaten, I will make sure to carve you out of its anus, so you have to crawl through shitty fucking intestines to get out.
Jesus Christ.
Just to laugh at
Divine intervention. Divine intervention.
We've got 1 day still.
I know.
You wait, Spook. You wait until you're on literal death's door and the cleric's out of healing spells, and I'll be there like, what's this? A bardic healing word? Fuck you.
I've been there
Except
many
I won't
times.
be out of healing spells because I actually keep my spell is literally just for healing during a fight and
Yeah,
nothing else.
he's pretty good at hitting things, is the thing.
Yeah, because it's like I have a sunblade. It's made of
The
fire.
the Sword of Radiance probably going to be very helpful in this fight.
And he has 23 strength. Buckley is tonk
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah, it's literally I have healing and damage.
I can be your angel or your devil.
I could be your angle or your demon.
Demon?
Demon!
Demon?
Demon!
Hey man!
Demon!
We should probably end the stream.
Yeah, it's we're kind of late now and don't know how much longer he's going to be. Do kind of need to finish, unfortunately.
Well, everyone,
I'm sure you'll understand.
Yeah,
We'll
so
see
this is a very awkward moment where we have to finish the session without the DM.
yeah.
He's gonna come running. He's gonna come running back in a minute, and then he's gonna be disappointed, and you're gonna be sad. And I'm just gonna put that one out there.
I have to finish. I have to go.
It's alright, I'm sure he
I wanted
understands.
to get in a Deadeye sharpshooter shot.
What will happen next time? Will Grunt recover herself in time for the big fight? Will Buckley's holy heritage be able to combat the vampire successfully? Will Calfrey fall victim to the Froghemoth's belly? Only time will tell. See you next time on Blood
Will
and Sand.
Batman and Robin come Flatman and Ribbon? Find out next time! Same bat time, same bat channel!
Flatman.
That was an actual wait, but anyway, we're gonna end the stream.
Oh my god.
Okay. Goodbye,
Shut the
everybody.
game,
We'll,
team.
we'll see you next week.
Be exciting,
maybe. I
not
don't
bores.
know.
We'll see you next time on Robot Wars.